Welcome back to Bets and Regrets. And for this episode, we're going to do things a little bit different. It's almost the start of the NFL season, and before we dive deep into our season long props, over unders, and win totals for each team, we're going to take you into our yearly quarterback rankings among the three of us. So strap in and enjoy. I'm Sean,
And I'm Nick.
and unfortunately, Brogan is still unable to be here. And ideally, we're hoping he'll be back next week if he is able to fix his sleep schedule. And if not, he'll be red eye in the pod with us. But in the meantime, you're going to be stuck with us. So
Woo!
what we're going to do and how this is going to work, we're going to be switching off in sets of 8 from the bottom to the top for our rankings for the projected starting quarterbacks. I know there's still a couple quarterback battles to be had, but we're roughly kind of combining their would be talents or lesser talents into one possibly formidable quarterback. But that's roughly how this is going to work. So, Nick, do you want to get the ball rolling here?
Yeah, man. Okay, so my first eight quarterbacks, very bottom of the barrel is going to be either Sanders or Watson. Okay, Sanders just can't complete a pass. His completion percentage is horrifically low. Watching him on the field is really not inspiring football. Like he tries, right? He's going out there giving his best, but his best realistically isn't good enough. He's really showing us why he was such a late round draft pick, even though people wanted him to be so high as a pick. He just hasn't produced whatsoever. I do appreciate his swag. I do like a cocky guy out there. I love me some cocky guys out there. So I really want to like him, but he's not producing. Watson's just dog shit. I don't know. Ever since he got those sexual assault allegations, had to take some time off of football. He's just fucking horrible. I don't know what happened to him. Somebody must have hit him in the fucking head with the stick, or like they massaged all of his fucking football knowledge out of his goddamn brain. I don't know. I don't know. He's just horseshit. All right, then right after that is Tua. Going into last year, I would have probably had Tua around like halfway through the pack, midway through the pack. But he's so injury prone now. And after what he's shown us last year, he just did not look good. The entire Miami offense kind of crumbled, and their entire organization kind of just fucking folded in on itself. He's now with the Falcons. So I can't imagine him doing so much better with the Falcons. I The Falcons were also kind of a poverty franchise. So it's like you're moving from poverty to poverty. The grass is not greener on the other side. I hope Tua can stay healthy and can, doesn't turn his brain into potatoes. But I just don't think that he's going to be able to produce. Kirko Chains. Kirk Cousins is one of Sean's favorite all-time favorite quarterbacks. How many playoff wins does he have, Sean?
I believe one, I think.
um, So, with his Achilles tear, he just is not mobile anymore. Okay, I think he has a pretty good brain for the game, but like watching him
I don't
move,
think he was ever mobile.
no, but like now when you watch him, he's stiffer than a statue. Aaron Rodgers, who's older than him, moves better than him, and that's
Raj has always been mobile, though.
yeah, but like it felt like his Achilles like took him down so many more notches. If it feels like Kirko Chains is on the level of like Peyton Manning, like stuck in the mud.
Well, was this his first season coming back off
Uh
of
huh.
that Achilles tear?
It was.
Okay, so yeah, it's usually like even you could say the same for like an ACL. It's usually the season after the season.
Yeah, true.
So
But he
I'm
also was.
interested what it'll be like this year.
But I'm pretty sure he like barely threw more touch. It was I forget his stat line, but it wasn't that great. Let me go fucking look it up real quick. It was like I think he threw like 10 touchdowns and like 8 interceptions or some shit like that. Okay, 10 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, with 1,700 yards, 61% completion percentage. So it's not horrible. But the year before that, he was 18-16. So it's just like he just hasn't been playing inspired ball to me. So that's why he's pretty low on the list. Geno Smith. Honestly, you could probably swap between Geno and Kirk. I would not argue with you if you said fucking Kirk Cousins is better than Geno Smith. Okay, whatever, dude. A turd sandwich is a turd sandwich. You can eat it however you like. I really don't give a fuck. Geno Smith was horrible. Horrible with the Raiders last year. The Seahawks did a fantastic job of seeing that Geno Smith was at the end of his really interesting career and decided to fucking axe him, and they did it at the perfect time. So Seattle right now, as an organization, is just doing fucking phenomenal work out there. Uh, Geno Smith, just there's not a lot to say about him. He just wasn't fucking good. Just all around, just was not good. Next one is Jackson Dart at number 28. I know Sean's probably a little bit upset about it.
Watch it. Watch it.
I. It's not because Dart Dart has legs, and I like how he like wants to go out there and play ball. He's a fun ball player to watch when he's using his legs, but his arm just doesn't feel like he has the strength or the accuracy to be able to be that franchise guy. Now that's his rookie year. They may be working on his mechanics, his form, all this other stuff. And if he gets in the film room, like he could easily shoot up on the list, especially with their offense. I mean, he has Malik Neighbors back this year and Scattaboo. So I could totally see Jackson Dart going to midway through the list, right around rank 16 or so. That would not surprise me. But the thing that concerns me is his concussions. And getting all these playmakers back, I hope boosts his play, and I hope he gets better from last year. But going off of what I saw last year, it was not inspired ball. 27 is Cam Ward. I am a fan of Cam Ward. I know last year he's on the fucking Titans, and the Titans suck dick. The Titans are probably still going to continue to suck dick. But I think Cam Ward has the intangibles to be able to move to the next step. His issue is he holds onto the ball way too fucking long. So I'm really hoping that they beat that out of him this past offseason. Next one is Jacoby Brissett. He's like, the only reason why Brissett has numbers right now is because he just has to throw the ball so fucking much. I've been seeing a lot of comparisons, like Jordan Love hate accounts. They're like, "Oh, Jacoby Brissett has almost the same numbers as Jordan Love," and which it's true. But Brissett attempts are through the fucking roof. Okay,
That shit was money last year, and it's going to be money again this year.
The reason why they're just always down. And they're going to continue to always be down. The Cardinals are not a good franchise right now. They're not a good org. They're going to get fucking shit on, stomped on. So I would assume Brissett kind of puts up the same numbers, but it's not going to be good ball.
Before I forget, did you see any of those clips that are coming out of the Arizona Cardinals training camps? Holy shit, it's looking bad, dude. My worst record in the league bet, I am loving that right now, and I got that at like 2-1, 3-1, something like that, plus 250. Oh my God. Marvin Harrison is looking thick and can't catch a pass right now. I don't know what's going on there.
He's supposed to be the generational
It's gonna be a shit show.
Yeah. So it's just like Brissett's good enough. Like don't get me wrong. Brissett's good enough for like a dumpster franchise like the Cardinals. He's not going to win them more games, and he's not going to lose them more games. He's just a guy that's going to kind of be there. He doesn't have any X factor, I think, at all. What? What are you smiling? You're smirking at?
No, I just think that it's funny that he ever had the potential to have an X factor.
Nah, never did. One person I was really happy to watch this year, it was Tyler Shuck. Okay? I was fucking touting him throughout the rest of the towards the end of last season. I was on the Shuck train.
After you went 1 for 2 because you said the other fucking guy.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter.
Forget his name.
Doesn't matter. I was the first one on the train. Doesn't matter. I was the first one on the train. Okay. Shuck, and you're talking about
That's Zappy. What the fuck's his name?
No, he was a cancer quarterback in like high school. Spencer Rattler. Okay.
Rattler. Yeah, the Rat.
I still think Rattler is a solid enough quarterback. Shuck is just better. Okay, Shuck
This might be one of the most just wild takes that you've ever had.
is Rattler's the fine
Just,
quarterback.
just the irrational love of Spencer Rattler.
Dude,
I just don't understand.
Rattler is on par with Jacoby Brissett, I think.
I'm not high on Jacoby Brissett, and that's offensive to Jacoby Brissett. Rattler's going to be out of the league in 2 years.
He's going to be a perennial backup. I think he's going to be a backup.
I don't think so. I think the league's too good.
He's going to be a journeyman, man. He's going to be a
Maybe a
journeyman.
practice squad guy. Fuck no, I don't think that's gonna happen.
I don't think he's gonna have like a super long career like fucking Andy Dalton, who just jumped around from team to team, or like Ryan Fitzpatrick, where he just jumped around. I think Rattler's gonna get a chance or two more at a couple more organizations. I think he'll be out of the league in 6 years. Okay.
What are we setting the over under at 3.5?
I'll take the over.
Oh, is he a rookie this year? Or was he a rookie last year?
Yeah, he was, I think.
All right, I'll make it a little bit more interesting. I'll go 4.5.
Oh, that's a little tough.
Yeah, that's right on the money. That's good handicapping, baby.
All right, so those are my first eight. Sean?
Okay.
I really like
we're
Shuck.
gonna have very
Shuck looks good. Sorry.
we're gonna have very similar ones here right away. And yeah, I have Shador Sanders / Deshaun Watson rounding out the last one. I think the Browns they're going to be a bad team. They're not going to be the worst team in the league because the Cardinals still exist. But I think trading away the cornerstone of your defense in Myles Garrett and kind of hoping for the future, future first round picks can't take the field quite yet. You still got to draft them. So they're hoping for a franchise quarterback, but until that happens, I don't see it with Shador. I liked Shador last year. I think that he can definitely improve still. Deshaun Watson, I am completely out on, and apparently it's a lot closer of a quarterback battle in the Browns camp than a lot of people initially thought. I think a lot of people thought Watson was going to just kind of roll through it and be the week one starter, but I don't know yet. Not so fast on that one. But I just also don't trust Deshaun Watson's durability anymore. Like he had the Achilles injury and then he retore it during rehab and everything. So I'm not sure what kind of shape he's going to be because he's also one of those kind of dual threat quarterbacks. And we're going to see, dude hasn't played football in a year and a half, 2 years. So we're going to see if the games kind of passed him by. He wasn't necessarily firing on all cylinders when he was healthy. So that's why they're the last here. Next one I got is Geno Smith. I think Geno Smith has kind of fallen off of a cliff since his renaissance in Seattle. I saw what he was doing with the Raiders last year, and it wasn't great. And now he's going back to the Jets, who, I mean, they're the Jets. Do I need to say anything else as a valid argument? They're going to be. I think they've improved a little bit. I like what they've hit on the draft in the last couple of years, but I don't think Geno Smith is necessarily the guy for you.
The Jets even made Aaron Rodgers look bad, and I was just saying.
Yeah, yeah. So he's my number 2 on that, or 31. My 30th one is Tua Tagovailoa. I roughly said that right, I think. Anyway, with the Falcons, I think, one, it's already going to be difficult. It's typically more difficult for a lefty quarterback in the NFL, and coming off of a season that he just had with less weapons. I mean, Kyle Pitts and Drake London, those are your guys, I think. I don't even know if Drake London's on the squad anymore. But Tua is, I think he's gonna be able to chuck it to Bijan, but that's about it. My next one at, what are we at? 29. 29, we got Cam Ward. So I think the Titans are getting slightly better. I mean, they're still getting enough quality draft picks, or they're high enough up there where they can still kind of build towards something. But right now, I liked what I saw from Cam Ward last year, but not necessarily enough that I think he's going to improve. And you also have to factor in for some of these guys, which it is real and it does exist, that sophomore slump. Once teams have a full season of tape, a full off season to kind of get your mechanics down and like how you react to certain situations, certain press coverages, certain pressure, even whether it's interior or outside pressure coming in at you, kind of how whether you're not able to step up in the pocket or not. And from what I was seeing, I didn't necessarily see that. If you kind of just get a little bit of pressure in his face, he's going to try and run around and try and extend the plays, and that's typically where the Titans spiraled last season. Now, again, Cam Ward had a whole offseason to work on these things, so who's to say that he doesn't come back and he isn't firing on all cylinders? But I think they may be a couple more years away. I like Cam Ward as a quarterback, but I just don't think with the Titans it's going to work well. Next one we got is Nick's boy, Tyler Shuck with the Saints. I am a fan of Tyler Shuck. I think he is far and away better than Spencer Rattler, and clearly the Saints do too. I'm very curious to see, again, like I just said with Cam Ward, his first year as a quarterback. You could call it a success because the Saints were projected to do nothing. They were in cap hell. They couldn't sign anybody. They weren't able to make any offseason acquisitions, but Shuck kind of helped them out there, and they didn't necessarily need to go quarterback hopping. Found a little bit of stability there, so I'm curious to see what he can do building off that for year two. Next one here on the list, I got Jacoby Brissett. Like I said, Jacoby Brissett and the Cardinals are going to be terrible. They're going to be down a lot. So, I mean, it is there. The blueprint's there, right, for Brissett to be kind of that Jameis Winston fantasy football quarterback from not a couple of years ago, Jesus, probably closer to like 10 years ago now, where he had a dickload of touchdowns, but also an incredible amount of interceptions. He's going to have to be throwing the rock because the Cardinals are going to be down. I don't necessarily know if he's going to be throwing it to, besides Trey McBride and chucking it down to Jeremiah Love. Maybe, I guess, Michael Wilson, if you want to get involved in that. And as a fantasy football owner, I would advise against it, but somebody's going to be going for it. But yeah, Jacoby Brissett's just going to be chucking the ball 45, 50 times a game, and Cardinals might go 0-16 because nobody's going to be able to catch.
17.
So, oh yeah, 17. Show my age there. Then we have two left here on the spot. Next one is going to be Malik Willis. I like the direction that the Dolphins went. I mean, they got pretty much Green Bay South down in South Beach, right? They got Jeff Hafley, the Packers defensive coordinator, brought him in as the head coach. They got Malik Willis, obvious Packers backup, who I thought shined extremely well. I don't think, when he was pressed into the limelight, I thought he did as good as he was asked for and kind of exceeded expectations. Yeah, exactly. So I think that he's going to do fine down there. I think the expectations are pretty low to begin with. And I believe that they get somebody else, like a president of football operations from Green Bay. Nick, you would know?
I think so.
I feel like they have someone in the front office role.
I'll do a check on that.
But yeah, so I think Malik Willis is going to be good. Now, his lack of weapons is concerning, but I think that they're going to just want to run the ball a lot more and then put Willis into some of those play action friendly situations where the defense just converges and tries to stop the run. He's able to pull it. He's able to play action, maybe hit somebody for a nice gain here and there. And I like I said, I like where the Dolphins are kind of headed. They had to do a lot with getting rid of Tua and letting Tyreek Hill go and whatnot. So they were just going to be in too much of a cap hell for that. So I think they're going to be fine. Then the last one, rounding out the leader of the bottom division here for my quarterback rankings, I have my boy Jackson Dart, which may come as a shock, but his biggest battle is not going to be on the field. It's going to be the people up in the booth, because there'd be times the Giants would be rolling. They'd be firing on all cylinders. Then they get to the goal line after Dart has a nice run. And then suddenly somebody says, oh, we got to check him for a concussion. He's got to go into the blue tent, which I think is bullshit. He got Scat telling him to get out of the tent, yelling at people. I think Harbaugh's not going to be putting up with that shit. I think it's going to be. I think this season should be good for the Giants, but I'm not necessarily counting on it if it's taken out of his hands entirely. So that's where I have, and I also don't know how many games. If they're going to say, "Oh, it's too serious," he's going to sit some. He's going to sit for a significant amount of time. So that's my reasoning for that. Nick, what'd you find?
Sullivan, the GM, he used to be the
Ah,
GM.
yes.
Uh-huh. Yep, spent over 2 decades with the Packers, and now he is in the front office. So, yeah, I completely agree. I mean, like, for going back to the Dolphins, low expectations. You know, you can't be expecting a whole lot.
No, I think that it should be a good season. I don't think they're going to have the worst record, but it could surprise people. Maybe get third in the division. Oh yeah, because the Jets exist, so they're definitely going to pencil them in for third in the division if you want to get those exactos.
So for my next 8, we're starting off with. First off, I would like to say we're remarkably close on like a lot of these players,
I know.
except for like Malik Willis and Kirk Cousins. Those are the only two that we like kind of differentiate on a little bit. But like for the most part, we're like 1 to 3 spots away on almost everybody.
I was very surprised.
My next one is Bryce Young. I like Bryce Young improved with the Panthers. I mean, the Panthers have a lot of fucking talent now with like McMillan out there. McMillan, he almost got what? Almost half of the passing yards from fucking Bryce Young. Like McMillan's a monster
Yeah,
out there.
Ted. Yeah,
Yeah, he's so fucking good. Yeah. Um, Bryce Young improved, and that's all you can ask out of a quarterback is to keep taking steps forward like that. I mean, I know he was, a top draft pick and whatnot, so you expect him to come out of college firing on all cylinders right away, but that's just not the reality for everybody, especially with the like a franchise like the Panthers who weren't really set up for success. You know, if you get the number 1 overall draft pick, you're not set up for success. So the Panthers are really priming Bryce Young to be successful this year. And if Bryce Young is not successful this year, I don't know. There's probably going to be some scenery changes for Bryce Young relatively soon if he doesn't produce. But I did like the direction that he was heading last year. I thought he started to put pieces together. After that is CJ Stroud. I've been a fucking Stroud hater since 2023, man. He has never impressed me. I know he had that fucking great rookie year, but the entirety after his rookie year, looking to his sophomore year, etc., I was like, he's just he just does not scream top tier QB to me. I was fucking hating on him. A couple of my friends were hating on me for hating on Stroud. I'm like, dude, Stroud just doesn't have it. And then this past playoffs, he shit down his leg, uh, playing fucking horribly. Okay. Does that make him a bad quarterback? No, because the playoffs is a higher competition and all that. And he has continued to take a step back from where he was his rookie year. I don't know how that's going to look coming this year. He's kind of like the what if man right now. Like, you saw him with all of his potential his rookie year, and now he's just steadily declined, and it feels like he's really losing confidence in himself. He does not look like a confident football player, and if he does not play like a confident football player, he's gonna fucking drop. He's gonna just continue to drop in these rankings and just get worse and worse and worse until he's finally a backup and then out of the league. Uh, so I don't want that for Stroud, but he's never tickled me the right way. Okay,
generational hater.
dude, I you know this. I've been hating on him since 2023, man. I've been hating on him
Bet
for
you
a long
have.
time, and to see
Bet you
me being
have.
proven right this past playoffs, it was very, very validating. After that is Kyler Murray. Now, Kyler Murray before CJ Stroud, purely because Kyler Murray is going to be in a brand new offense with a whole slew of weapons. Okay. You have Justin Jefferson, who I still believe is the best wide receiver in football. Like, you can argue between him and Chase, but I still like Jefferson over Chase. And then they have who's their number 2? I can't think of his name right now. Vikings wide receiver number 2, little guy, a little speedy guy.
Oh, Addison.
Addison. Addison's fucking great. Hockenstein is fucking solid as shit. They have Aaron Jones out there.
Eh,
Their offense,
eh,
yeah, solid.
eh,
Hockenstein's solid.
eh,
He's solid. He's solid.
eh.
He's solid. He's a little bit old now.
Okay.
I'm not
They're
saying
all old.
Hockenstein's like top 10. I think he's like between fucking 14 and 18. That's where I'd probably put Hockenstein at. He is a very doable tight end. Um, Murray's going to be in a brand new offense. I hope the change of scenery does something for him because he came out of the draft, a top draft pick. He has a solid enough arm. He's mobile. The biggest knock on him is that he's short and he plays a lot of Call of Duty. Hopefully, he knocks off the COD playing and really focuses up and learns the offense. If he doesn't focus up and learn the offense, then he's out. He's gonna be fucking horrible. But I do think he will be able to learn the offense. I mean, if fucking JJ McCarthy can kind of learn the offense, I think Kyler Murray can too.
Nine is a generational quarterback, though.
Yeah. Uh,
Once in like a 5 drafts.
the next one I have is crying Caleb Williams at number 21. Uh, I am a hater. All right, I will say that first and foremost. I am an absolute hater of him. Not because he beat the Packers twice. It's because a lot of people be like, "Oh, Nick, you're just salty that he beat your Packers." No, not really. The Packers weren't going to do anything last year after all the injuries just fucking piled up on ourselves.
Speak for yourself. You're winning that whole thing if they didn't blow it into the Bears.
Yeah, sure. Um, it's just watching him play. It's just like he's so inaccurate. He does not have a great platform when he throws the ball. He has a really good arm talent in terms of like he has a lot of strength in his arm. Right, we all saw that against the Rams, like off his back foot. That was an amazing, like for him to even get it there. That's crazy. Should that have been completed? No fucking way. I mean, like, no way that should have been completed. That will not be completed ever again. And so many of their wins came off of the fourth quarter. He struggles through 3 quarters and then all of a sudden picks up on the fourth quarter. He has so much talent on his offense and from his new head coach, but yet it's just like he's not putting it together. If any other generational quarterback had the situation that Crying Caleb has, they'd be fucking top 10 in the league, right? But he's still really just struggling. His time to throw has increased since his rookie year, which time to throw is a pretty important factor. Tom Brady, if you know who that is, had one of the fastest time to throws in NFL history. Okay? If Tom Brady has a really fast time to throw, I would think that it's kind of an important stat to have. And Crying Caleb almost has 2x the time to throw as Tom Brady does. Now, it's because he tries to scramble too much, all this other shit, whatever. You can blame the offensive line, but the offensive line, if you throw the ball quick, you won't get fucking sacked, right? So I really don't believe in him whatsoever. I think in the couple of years, he's just going to continue to decline. Too many people are riding high on him. I'm seeing calls for him being like top 10 or even having an MVP year this year. There's no fucking way. There's no fucking way he'll even come close to that. No way. Next one is Malik Willis. Uh, I have Malik Willis over Crying Caleb because Malik Willis is what Crying Caleb wishes he was. When I watched Malik Willis for the Packers, he was literally Crying Caleb Williams, but just better in every single facet. The when to run, when to not run, his accuracy, everything. Malik Willis was just astonishing last year. The only thing I'm concerned about is what is he going to look like in a full 17 game season? What is he going to look like? And with being in a new team, new offense, all these new factors, is the QB whisperer Matt LaFleur, he's not going to be there with him. Is Malik Willis going to be able to continue to produce as he did? If Malik Willis produced like he did with the Packers last year in a 17 game stretch, he's gonna be top five quarterback. He's gonna be in contention for MVP. Like Malik Willis was that outstanding in the limited amount of starts that he had last year. So I hope to see that continuing to go forward. But because we don't know the what if factor and his sample size is so small, that's why I have him at 20. Jaden Daniels, I have Jaden Daniels above Crying Caleb, purely because it'll piss off a lot of Bears fans to see that because they really hate Jaden Daniels for just shitting on the Bears every time he gets the opportunity to. Um, Jane Daniels has it all. I mean, his team is an aging team. I think they're the oldest in the NFL. He has some weapons like Debo Samuel, and I forget who else is on the fucking Skins or the Commanders or whatever the fuck they go by nowadays. Uh, the main thing is injuries. Like he got banged up pretty bad last year. I hope he can come out of all of that healthy. And if he does, and does what he did his rookie year, he'll be great. But like, if those injuries really pile up and they affect the way he plays, he's gonna continue to fall down this list. I could see him having like an RG3 esque career, where like you see the peak of him and then injuries and just the team just not being good enough around him.
I do just want to say that Debo Samuel is no longer with the
Oh, he's not. Who the
football team. He went back to the Niners.
did he? Fuck. Is Ayuk
Yes.
with the football team now?
Um, I don't think so. I think he's just out of the league still. Technically with the Niners, but
I thought he got out
there's
of the
no.
Niners and was with the football team now.
No, he wants to,
Uh,
but I don't know what the hell's going on with him.
Okay. Next one is Brock Purdy.
So
Brock Purdy's had so many injuries piling up on him. Yeah, they tout his efficiency and whatnot, but like he hasn't played a full fucking season in a while now. And I think you know what? Let me just look up his stats really quick, just so then we can so I can get this shit straight because I'm pretty sure like he.
well, how much of that is his fault, and how much of that is that electromagnetic field?
True, but he's playing there. That's where he plays, man. And if he
Yeah,
so okay,
can't
so
control that.
2023, phenomenal. Almost 70%, 4K, 3111 with a 113 rating. That's awesome. Next season, 20 and 12, 38 with a 65. And then the season after that, this past season was 70% again with 21, 20, and 10. So he's taken a step back, and I think it's mostly due to injury, and that's kind of why I'm leaving him here. When Brock Purdy's playing, firing on all cylinders. Brock Purdy's a fucking he's a baller. All right, he's a gem that they found in the draft. And he could easily move up to if he plays like he did, if he plays like I know he could and stays healthy, he could easily break almost top 10. He could be around the 9 to fucking 12 range in quarterbacks. But right now, off of last season injuries and just like his efficiency went down a little bit. Um, I'm just gonna have to slap him here at number 18. Next one above that is Trevor Lawrence. He was starting to get MVP nods a little bit last year.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he
He
was.
My issue with Trevor Lawrence is he had one good year last year after having a whole load of shit years. Now he could turn that around. He could be just like fucking Brock. He could be like any of these quarterbacks on this list almost. There's only a handful of quarterbacks. Actually, there's only a handful of quarterbacks on this list where I'm like, yeah, you guys will not improve. You're gonna stay where you're at. You guys are gonna continue to be dog shit. He's one of those ones that like if he builds off this next year and continues or even continues to like get better, he's going to be a phenomenal quarterback. He's going to be exactly what they were touting him to be. But one good year and a whole slew of bad years without like having any rhyme or reason to the bad years, besides just it's a shit team. I can't move him too much further up on the list and putting him right about halfway through the list at 17. I think 17 is a pretty solid spot for him. I hope not too many people hate on me for it, but he just hasn't had that many good years. So, that's mine.
Wait. All right, going on to my second quadrant here.
Oh
We will
fuck!
get started. We
This
got
is so similar. Wait, what the fuck?
oh yeah, extremely. So I got Daniel Jones. You're gonna probably be hearing a lot of the same shit rehashed, but mostly, I mean, he was so-so with the Giants, but again, not too many people are. Does have that one playoff win with the Giants, but came to the Colts last year and was absolutely lighting the world on fire. Talk about MVP votes. There were definitely some MVP consideration for Daniel Jones until his season came to an abrupt halt, screeching halt with that torn Achilles, which you just seem to be seeing more and more of that by the year. So that's just tragic. But ideally, everything has gone well in rehab. I'm just very curious because he is also one of those more of a pocket passer, I would say, but he can run when he needs to. Now the
Insert clip
Colts
of
did
him
make us.
sprinting down the field and tripping over himself.
Yeah, he's too fast for his own good. He's like a gazelle. But the Colts did make a splash this week by making Jonathan Taylor an extremely wealthy running back, possibly the biggest in NFL history, all for like 8 minutes until Jameer Gibbs
Yeah, I was
got
about to
paid.
say. Yeah.
Yeah. So they locked down the running back. Again, Jonathan Taylor from Wisconsin, absolute baller. And anytime that you can just check it down to him, he just makes magic happen. They also have a lot of pretty solid receivers. But I'm just curious to see how, if he's able to be ready for week one, and if he is, how he's going to look. I mean, you never truly know what somebody's going to look like coming back from injury. And typically, again, like I said earlier, usually once you come back from one of those major injuries, it takes you a little bit to kind of get past that mental hurdle of getting hit or putting your entire plant foot on it or getting rolled up on. Your body kind of just tenses up. Your mind goes to like the worst place imaginable. Again, just all the hours that he's had to do in rehab. So I've seen nothing that says that he's going to be one of those guys that kind of crumbles under the pressure, but you just never truly know until he gets hit. Like, I mean, I think of, to switch it to NBA, Jason Tatum. He didn't necessarily quite look like himself in the playoffs because he didn't think that he was going to be there. That kind of aggressive recovery route. So we'll see what Daniel Jones is made of when the time comes. But that's more of just kind of like at worst, I'd say his ceiling could definitely be somewhere in the top 10 if he continues to improve. But right now, I'm just kind of keeping it safe and more of the pessimistic route. But definitely would like to see him do well. Next one we got is Kirk O'Chains and Kirk Cousins. And I know Nick says, and I would also say that I've been a generational hater on Kirk Cousins for many years. Think he's overrated and everything. I was scrolling across a video that popped on my feed last night, I believe, that kind of made me reevaluate it a little bit, at least, where you see so many of these guys pop their Achilles and everything and can't walk or can't do anything. And immediately after he had a full rupture of his Achilles. He was like hobbling over off to the sideline, didn't want anybody to help him. So my respect for him grew, I guess, a little bit, you could say. I still, and now I don't necessarily love that he's on my de facto AFC team in Doradas, but I think he's going to be solid enough. He's going to have Brock Bowers. He's going to have Ashton Jeanty. Like, I think he's going to be good enough with the Raiders. They're going to be down. He's going to be chucking it. And I think he is going to be an upgrade compared to what Geno Smith was for him last year. So I guess I'd like to see him do well. Next one, we got Bryce Young. I'm looking at his little tot counterpart in Kyler Murray right across in your rankings. So we had the little guys ranked roughly about the same. And I think Bryce Young has made strides each of his years that he's been in the league. I think that he's shown that once he has actual weapons and a decent defense behind him, he can lead them to at least the playoffs. And I mean, they were competitive against who they played, the Rams in that first playoff game.
Uh, Fuck.
Sounds right. I think it was the Rams. We'll go with it. I'm pretty sure it was the Rams. So, like, and I believe that game was a shootout for a little bit, and at times they were even up pretty late into either late in the third or early in the fourth quarter. And I mean, you see glimpses of what he can do. Obviously, he's got a bona fide stud in Tet McMillan. So anytime you have one of those kind of receivers, it always helps to lessen the load of a quarterback. And again, now we're kind of getting into the point where this isn't necessarily a disrespectful ranking, but it is the NFL, and these guys are the best of the best. So it is. I mean, if you're in the top, whatever, top 20, top 25 in the world at what you do, I'd still say that's pretty good. So next one is Drake May. I don't know where to
I
put
feel like
him.
that's fucking disrespectful as shit.
Yeah, so what? I don't like he looked really good until he faces a really good defense, and then he kind of turned into a pumpkin. I get that he was a rookie last year, right?
I think
Yeah.
so.
So either a rookie or essentially a rookie. He might not have played that many games the year before if he did. But going into essentially that second year, sophomore slumps do exist. And I still don't trust their tackle situation. If the team goes up against a good defense, I mean, we saw it in the Super Bowl. They floundered every single opportunity. He did not look comfortable, rightfully so, because when you get your tackle, granted the tackle was probably injured. What do we got?
Drake May was drafted in 2024, so he played a couple of games in 2024 and then had his first full season in 2025. It looks like.
Okay, so second full season with keys to the car. So we'll see what he can do. Again, I think that the Patriots are going to have more of that super. It's more of my lack of faith in that organization in general this year, just coming off that Super Bowl hangover. I think Vrabel's still a good enough of a coach where it's going to be interesting to see if he can help get the boys still buzzing throughout the season. But I think that they're going to take a step back. Probably, I mean, a step back still going to be like 9, 10, maybe even 11 wins from whatever they had last year. But I just don't think they're going to win the division or be competing for a championship this season. So again, only time will tell. I'm pretty confident with where I have them there. The next one is Kyler Murray, where again I'm not confident in him at all. But if he can do it in Kevin O'Connell's system, then that kind of frightens me enough where I would put him above all the other quarterbacks that I previously have done. Because if you can make JJ McCarthy look like a semi-competent quarterback, I'm very curious to see what he can do with the actual former number one overall pick from like 2018 or something like that,
Yeah,
2017.
that sounds about right. I think it was 2017.
So
If my autism is correct here.
yeah. So we'll see. Like I said, my early handicapping for the season, I know we're not talking about the games quite yet,
No, it's
but
2018.
if okay. So if you can get to the Cardinals early before Murray really has time to get comfortable in that system, the earlier you play him the better, and that's super convenient for the Packers who play them week 1. So I think he's going to be good. That second half of the year, first half of the year could be a little bit of a struggle, but you're still throwing to Jay Jettas and all the other
I lied. It was
people up there. What do we got?
2019.
Damn,
I fucked up. Yeah, 2019 was his first year. My apologies.
interesting. You're all good. Next one we got is CJ Stroud. So for Stroud, I don't know. I do know what to make of him. He had a really good first year, got to the playoffs and everything. It's kind of been crumbling. I have my stonks on him keep lowering as we speak. I don't necessarily trust him at this point,
He
and
doesn't trust himself either.
that's a good division, man. The AFC South, it's a fun division. I like it. I really do. And that's going to bring me to the best quarterback in the AFC for my next rank, AFC South, I should say, in Trevor Lawrence. I don't want to get too ahead of myself. Trevor Lawrence, T-Law, we saw what he could do. And Nick, I know you pointed it out. I was going to just wait because I knew I was going to be talking about him soon. Saying what changed in this year compared to the last? Well, I'll tell you exactly what happened. Liam Cohen entered the chat and the building and has turned Trevor Lawrence's life completely upside down compared to pretty shit, not great, to awesome. Let's get him going with some MVP votes, which we might be seeing this year. Who knows? Second year in the Liam Cohen system. I cannot wait. So very excited. But Again, time will tell because it was only 1 year. If this was year two and he took that second step, I'd probably put him 11, 12, something like that. But he's right around at 6 to 17 right now. Yeah, that
Yeah,
sounds
you
right.
have him at 18 at the moment.
Oh, 18?
I
Okay,
had
that's still good.
I had Lawrence even higher than you. I had him at 17. It's
I
so
know.
fun. We flip
Now,
flop Lawrence and Brock Purdy.
yeah. And then yeah, like you just said, flip flop. So I got Brock Purdy at 17. I think that with the re-addition of Debo Samuel and I mean Christian McCaffrey to however long his ligaments and tendons can hold up in his legs, he should be fine. I think that Purdy has proven it pretty consistently as long as he's able to stay on the field. And yeah, that's about where I'm at. If he's able to have a full season of work, I really like the Niners to compete in that division. And it's going to be a three-team race in the AFC West between them, the almost said the Cardinals, the other bird team, and the Seahawks and the Rams. So that should be pretty interesting.
Yeah, no, it's so funny that once again our lists are so similar, like almost through and through. There's only like a handful of guys that like are pretty different from each other. Uh,
Yeah,
so for my next little go of things, I actually have Daniel Jones at 16. I actually really liked what I saw from him on the Colts. It looked like he was a brand new player out there. He looked phenomenal using his legs. He was making all the right reads. They were the highest scoring offense for a while he was out there. Like he hit that shit in stride, and it was just absolutely phenomenal. Uh, he was just a trailblazer. Like honestly, every time he touched the ball, every time the Colts touched the ball, I thought they were going to score. So I was genuinely impressed with Daniel Jones. I was not expecting that. I was never a Daniel Jones hater, but I was never a Daniel Jones believer. Last year really pushed him into the upper echelon of things. If he loses his mobility with his whole Achilles tear and whatnot, then there's going to be a lot of issues that arise out of that because he does like to use his legs a little bit more than not. I'm not saying he's like a super hyper mobile quarterback, but he is definitely a young guy who likes to do that type of stuff. So I hope that he comes back, balls out, and if he continues to ball out like he did last year, he's going to move up in these rankings, which is just crazy to say after seeing how he did in his first couple of years in the league. It's just crazy to say that Daniel Jones is a top 16 quarterback in the league, and he could break top 10 if he continues to do what he's been doing with the Colts. After that, Sam Darnold. Uh, I feel kind of disrespectful putting Darnold this low, but at the same time, Darnold threw 20 interceptions last year. He is a game manager that has a good enough arm to get shit done. Um, and he can win you some games. Now, this is to the point where it's like, okay, they can win you some games, but let's be honest.
like the biggest game of all time.
Yeah, Seattle's defense is what brought him there. All right, let's not misconstrue the fucking truth here. Seattle's defense
Well,
is
look at
what
the
got them.
stats.
Seattle's defense is what got them there. I do like the direction that Sam Darnold is going in his career. I feel like this 15 is a pretty safe spot for him right now because like he came off of a really good year with the Vikings and now he had a solid year. I mean like obviously he won the Super Bowl, but I'm talking about him as an individual, right? Obviously, he had the best year that any quarterback could ever ask for, right? Winning the Super Bowl. But in terms of individual play, there's still more to be desired. 20 interceptions is just not forgivable from a starting quarterback. That's just that's like eight too many. Okay, that's like you're throwing at least one interception every single game, and turning the ball over once or more every single game is not a recipe for success. Um, so I hope he continues to improve. He's a good guy, you know, from all reports. He's a good guy, great player, great teammate. But right here, I just feel like is a pretty suitable spot for him in my rankings. Next one is Baker Mayfield. Baker couldn't reach an agreement with the Bucks. The Bucks do have a really, really, really stacked team. The first year Baker went to the Bucks, he fucking threw like what 40 touchdowns, like 4,000 yards, and now
I'm cool like that.
yeah, like 2 years removed from that, now he's like regressing back to the mean. The Buccaneers have so much talent on offense that it's like,
Well,
do you,
you know what happened, right?
what, Sean?
They
Injuries.
lost their they lost no, they lost their coach.
Yeah,
They lost Baker Whisper and Liam Cohen.
yeah, I understand that.
That's the biggest part that should be brought up.
You fucking Jags fans.
I'm ready to just bet a lot of money on the Jags this year. I can't wait.
Stop putting money on the Giants, please. But
Never. I already put money on them last week, so
Baker has, he has a swagger. He has a good arm. The players love him. He's going to put himself on the line, which I don't love all the time because, you need to protect yourself as a quarterback because you are the most valuable player on the field on your team for the most part. So Baker, I think, will continue to put up numbers. I think he will probably put up like another like low 30 touchdown season and like maybe like around 4,000 ish yards, which would be fantastic. But he's also going to throw up like 15 interceptions, right? For every touchdown, for every 2 touchdowns, he's going to throw one interception because that's just kind of the playmaker play style he has. And that's going to lose you some games, especially in the NFC South, where it's like super winnable every single year because the division's just a shithole and no team ever wants to do a hard rebuild. They all want to do soft rebuilds for some reason to keep trying to win it, and never actually compete anywhere. So I don't know. Baker just has a lot going for him on offense. I just hope to see him take another step forward and continue to improve. Next one I have at number 13 is Aaron Rodgers. Uh, it's kind of crazy to say I'm putting Aaron Rodgers at number 13 over all these other guys. Uh, Rodgers just continues to be so fucking efficient. Every time he touches the ball, you just know it's going to magically appear in somebody's fucking hands. Every time. It's just going to magically appear in some wide receiver's hands. He's so protective of the ball. His mobility isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. He actually looks a lot more mobile. He's starting to get more weapons on offense. Um, it looks like that he is a very solid quarterback for the Steelers this year. I don't see him having any type of MVP season. I do see him putting up another passing Peyton Manning. He will pass Peyton Manning all time in touchdowns this year. Fun fact. More than likely. I think he's only behind Peyton Manning by 13 touchdowns. So all Aaron Rodgers has to do is throw 13 touchdowns this year, and then I think he's number three, number three on the list behind Drew Brees and Tom Brady on the all-time touchdowns list, which is kind of crazy to say. Good for you, Raj.
nice.
I'm a big Raj fan. Love you, Raj. I see Rogers Realm. If you guys have any idea who Rogers Realm is, he's living my dream by hanging out with Aaron Rodgers all the time.
Oh, just the guy that does the cadence and all that shit.
Yeah, the cadence guy. Yeah, he's living out my little dream. So, next guy up is Bo Nix. Bo Nix particularly impressed me last year with using his legs and finding wide receivers downfield. If it wasn't, I I was fully on board with the Broncos beating the Patriots until Bo Nix went down. As soon as Bo Nix went down, I was like, dude, that fucking sucks. This was your guys' year to go head to head with Seattle and see if you guys can get that ring back from the Seahawks. But unfortunately, Bo Nix went down. He was particularly impressive to me. He took care of the ball a lot better. He made a lot better decisions, a lot quicker decisions, used his legs when he needed to use his legs, didn't use his legs when he didn't have to. All around, just genuinely impressed me. Next one is Jalen Hurts. I have him at 11, which feels weird to put Jalen Hurts at 11 because I'm not a huge fan of Hurts. He's not a bad player, but I feel like he's pretty sheltered in his offense and they don't let him let it fly. I think Malik Willis's like ceiling is like almost Jalen Hurts ish. Maybe probably even better than Jalen Hurts. But like he had so many weapons on offense that like it's hard to not produce, but he still just didn't put up the numbers that like you'd want him to see, that you'd want to see. He's pretty good at taking care of the ball. You know, he has a strong arm. He has all of these intangibles, but like there's just something about the way he plays the game that's just like he like misses third down passes that you're just like, what the fuck, dude? Or he kind of crutches on the tush push, which if it works, it works. But like, there's just parts of his game, in my opinion, that are missing. Like the deep ball could be better. His intermediate, anything past 10 yards, he fucking struggles with. Genuinely, he struggles anything past 10 yards. His accuracy just fucking as you would expect, but his drops a lot harder than other quarterbacks of his caliber. So it just feels weird. He probably will regress this year without AJ Brown being in the offense now. Um, but I think 11 is a pretty good spot to put him. He's not top 10, but he's not horrible. Next one is Jared Goff. I have Jared Goff at 10. Jared Goff is just a good fucking quarterback. A lot of people like kind of overlook Goff because, you know, he's had some bad years, but ever since he's been with the Lions, man, he's been fucking great. And now that may be the Lions scheme, who the Lions have, doesn't fucking matter because he's on the Lions. And he puts up numbers and he puts up touchdowns and he does what they ask him to do. And now every once in a while, he'll have a game where you're like, what the fuck are you doing? You know, like throwing 5 interceptions in a game. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy to say that he did that last year. But like, there's rare instances where like you see Goff being fucking horrible. But for the most part, he's so fucking efficient and he puts the ball on a line. He has good arm strength, not crazy arm strength, but he has good arm strength, great accuracy, and a really, really stacked offense around him. Um, and an offense that likes to put up fucking points. Okay. And that's one of the most important things. They love to put up points, and Jared Goff can do that with them. He's not a game manager. He is a guy that can go out there and actually win you games. Okay. I would like to say top 10 quarterbacks are people who go out there and shift. Like, I would say from like 11 to like 20 are like game managers, and as you climb up the ranks a little bit, like you get more and more to being like, okay, this guy can win us games. And Jared Goff is a guy who can flip the needle in your favor. At number nine, I have Lamar Jackson. Feels kind of weird to put Lamar this low. He's been slowly regressing after his MVP seasons, plural. Um, I don't see that probably continuing, but because of what I saw last year and because of injury and whatnot, I am uncomfortable putting him any higher. He could easily climb through. If he climbs and has another MVP season this year, I wouldn't be surprised, but I also wouldn't be surprised if Lamar Jackson regresses a little bit more because as those mobile quarterbacks get older, they get progressively worse and worse and worse because they rely so much on their legs and not as much on their arm. So longevity wise, you know, Lamar's 30, I think, this year. Yeah, I think he's 30 this year. And just coming off of
Crazy to
it,
think about.
yeah, you know, I remember him coming out of Louisville, right? Like, it's crazy to say he's 30, but he's starting to get old. His legs are going to start wearing down and coming off of injury. I still think he's a great quarterback, but nine, I feel pretty comfortable putting him at. If he, you know, he could easily hit top five again this coming year, and I wouldn't be surprised about it. But I can't put him any higher than it. Nine. Scene?
All right, I'll take it from here for this next section. So I have Jaden Daniels at 16. I didn't quite know where to put him or what to think of him just because of how last year went. Part of it, he was injured, but again, that was his big knock coming out of college, right? He was super small frame, the durability and the longevity in the league. How long could he actually handle it? Again, he rocked it his first year, taking the what do they call it? Washington football team to the NFC Championship. First time ever done by a rookie, which is incredible. But then, yeah, he got pretty rattled last year. He got banged up. It just wasn't quite the same. He looked scared out there at times, and I don't know if part of that was worried about taking hits or whatever the deal was, but so I kind of have him just more middle of the pack this year. I just didn't know necessarily where to put him. This one was one of my more difficult decisions. Coming in at what is this now? 15. This one not necessarily as difficult of a decision. I got the Iceman, Caleb Williams. And I know we all know Nick's thoughts on this. From what I've seen, I mean, eye test wise, like I said, I like Caleb Williams in college. I was a fan of him at SC. Again, anybody but the Bears, I would have been probably a bigger fan of. But unfortunately, he went to the one team in the NFL that I absolutely despise. So there's that. And I will be rooting for him the second he goes away from that poverty franchise in Chicago for now. But I think he's going to regress a little bit more. Otherwise, I think I'd have probably had him in the top 10. They were extremely fortunate with turnovers. The 7 fourth quarter comebacks last year. I think their defense is really good, and that's why they were definitely helped out by that.
I
But
would
I
actually
think that
say
again,
their defense really wasn't that good. The only thing they were good at is turnovers.
turnovers, yeah.
The other
Which
than
yeah, they
that,
were
like
able to generate a lot of turnovers and get the turnovers, but yeah, I mean, they gave up definitely a lot of points, which is why they were in those fourth quarter holes to begin with. And I mean, hey, kudos to him for driving down the majority of those and getting them out of it. I just don't think that's necessarily sustainable. I mean, a lot of that is the luck factor involved. I think that they're going to have a good season. I think he's going to be, unfortunately, a pretty solid quarterback for years to come. But I just don't necessarily know if he's able to take that next step quite yet. Maybe in
I,
the
you
next
know,
couple of years, I might be wrong, but
I hope he actually does really well this year, so the Bears give him a big contract because I do not believe in that guy whatsoever. So that's my 2 cents.
right. And I mean, he was in college for those. I think he was in college for 3 years, and you never know. I mean, a lot of it staying healthy. He's got to have injury luck and all that stuff, which
He,
comes into play.
I think he said he lost like a good couple of pounds, so he's like he's faster and more agile. But with losing more pounds, you also lose a little bit of that cushion for when bigger guys hit you, you know? So like
Yeah,
I don't wish this upon him at all. Let me clarify. I do not wish this upon him. But like I could see an injury coming his way due to like losing I think it was like a good 15 pounds this offseason. Like he lost a substantial amount of weight for a quarterback. Um, so I'm a little bit concerned for his health this year. I could see him getting injured. Don't want that. Let me clarify. But, uh, or it could be, really good for him where he's able to do more and more with being, smaller and whatnot. But
that's crazy to think about that he was already that fast and he lost more poundage. But I mean, when he was 15 pounds heavier, Micah Parsons was about the only one that was able to like be on the same running plane as him. Nobody else could seem to be able to catch him, at least from the Packers. And that's yeah. So I mean, that's going to be concerning. But like you said, and I'm curious to see if the arm strength is still there after losing that much weight. How much of it was if they kind of did the Dak Prescott thing of like kind of shifted some weight around body wise. I mean, maybe they focused a little bit more on the lower half of his body, but we'll find out soon enough here. Next one I have is Jared Goff. I think that he's been an extremely good quarterback, like Nick said, since coming to the Giants, since coming to the Lions. And yeah, I think that unfortunately the Lions now, because they've been paying everybody, they're not able to get as quality depth. So I think that could hurt the Lions, hurt Jared Goff, especially if they're not able to necessarily pay some of these pass protectors because they're paying all of these just higher end defensive players or the receivers, anything like that. curious about the continuity in the O line there. And again, once Jared Goff senses pressure, his biggest kind of Achilles heel has always been starts to crumble, but we'll see. Next one I got is Bo Nix. So again, just extremely similar. Nick had him one spot higher than I do at, I believe, what do we got here? 12?
The
We're at
Bo
12.
Nix, Aaron Rodgers, and Baker Mayfield. We we just shuffled those three guys
Yeah.
around.
Yeah, I mean, when you know, you know. But yeah,
Yeah.
I think if Bo Nix comes back healthy, which all accounts say that he should, I think the Broncos are going to be really good. And I'd be very shocked if the Broncos didn't win or at least compete for that division. It's the AFC West is going to be super exciting, minus the Raiders, but you never quite know. The next one, I got Baker Mayfield. He always just seems to be kind of hanging around that order, like upper echelon of quarterbacks, and I like him. I think I'm going to use a lot of the buzzwords there. He's gritty. Seems to make the right plays. I mean, he's definitely a competitor, but he,
Really hard work ethic.
oh, yeah. So
I love my dog a little.
I hate myself for doing all that. But yeah, I mean, sure he's kind of a douche, but overall, like I don't know. I think there's something to him that I've enjoyed at least watching him play football the last couple of years. The Bucks, not like unless they're just absolutely getting dominated, they never seem quite out of a game as long as he's there. And again, before he came to the Bucks, that like brief stint that he had in LA where he took them like 90 some yards the
Revived his
first week
career.
with the team,
Yeah.
revived his career. Yeah, that was absolutely electric. I don't know. I think Baker's fine. He did lose the quarterback coach in Liam Cohen because he went to Duval, and that hurt him. Obviously, his lack of production this past season was pretty telltale of it. But maybe, I mean, ideally, he's able to get back in the film room, kind of figure out some things, and we'll see. And then the next one here I got is, I think this is, what are we even on right now? Is this 11?
You are. Yeah, you are on 11. Yep. Yep. Yep.
All
Yep.
right, yeah. 11. So not quite top 10 quarterback in the league anymore, but still just longevity. And I know if I was an opposing team, which I guess the Packers are now, I would hate to go against him. And that's that bad man, Aaron Rodgers. This is it. Like this is the last year that we're going to be able to put Aaron Rodgers on a ranking system.
Mm.
And I think he's
That's so sad.
he's pretty. I know, it's a bummer, but he seems pretty at peace with that decision. He could pull a Favre. I don't know. And yeah, I'm very curious. I mean, the AFC seems relatively open. I think that the Steelers could definitely make some noise, and if they want to do that, they're gonna need Aaron Rodgers to dial it back. Maybe 5 years or 5 years ago, Raj, and see what he can do. And I mean, I think it's still definitely possible. I think he's definitely shaken
I
off
mean, with
the
Mike
rust
McCarthy
of
being
his
there now.
Achilles injury.
Oh,
Yeah, he's got Big Mac. So
it's
look
just
for some halfback draws on 3rd and long.
it's just so
But
interesting to see like the end of the Packers' tenure of McCarthy and Rodgers, and they like seem to clash heads a lot. And now all of a sudden they're just like buddies again. So like I wonder, I don't know. It's just interesting to me to see that.
time heals all wounds, I guess.
I
But
guess.
I don't know. All right, and then the last one here that I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nope, not yet.
You
10.
got two more.
So we are at, yes. I got Jalen Hurts. I think that he's definitely going to be taking a step back because he lost his coordinator and everything. But I still
Again,
think that
again,
he's going
again,
to be,
again.
yes, again. I think that he's still a pretty solid quarterback, and I feel comfortable putting him in the top 10. But again, late top 10 compared to a lot of these other guys. He has improved pretty much every year that he's been in the league as a more of a passer. I know he took a little bit of a step back this last year, so we're going to see if he is able to kind of buck that hurdle from last year and sling it going forward. Because yeah, he lost AJ Brown,
Uh-huh.
and I think Devonta Smith is. I don't know. I was at a rum tasting event at the all inclusive that I was in a couple weeks ago for my honeymoon, and I was talking next, or I was just sat down talking to the guy next to me. Turns out he was an Eagles fan, and he's ready. He's ready to go. He thinks that yeah, Hurts and the Eagles are going to have a wonderful season, but we'll see. We'll see. He said without a doubt Devonta Smith going to be number one. It's going to be awesome. He's going to have all the yards. So we'll see. We'll see. Then my last one here at number 9 is Sam Darnold. Look, I know what Sam Darnold. We all know what Sam Darnold was on the Jets, which was fucking nothing. But coming to Seattle, nice change of scenery. Mostly leaving the Jets. Does the body good? Does the mind even better? He's no longer seeing ghosts. Instead, he is hoisting the Vince Lombardi trophy. And sure, a lot of that is largely in part to the defense, but he didn't turn into a pumpkin in those postseason, like some of those postseason games. He did extremely well when the defense gave up high 20s, low 30s, again, like in the Rams game, where sometimes we've seen quarterbacks when the postseason comes, like Carson Palmer, when sure, you're going up against a pretty good defense, you're still able to score some points, but you turn into a pumpkin. He didn't have those games where he just absolutely collapsed and threw 3, 4, 5 interceptions, but he did very well. So I feel pretty confident with him going into the season at number 9. And sure, he threw 20 interceptions, but again, when you're throwing the ball, you can kind of afford to take some risks, take some chances when you know that defense behind you is more than likely going to get it right back to you. And I think if he's able to play loose like that again, I don't necessarily have a problem with him throwing the ball all over, getting those turnovers. So we'll see what he can do. But yeah, I got Sam Darnold at number 9. So we do have the last set of 8. And I was checking this earlier. Of our 8 quarterbacks, we have 7 of them are the same, but no particular order in this. So
Oh,
very, very interesting.
okay. Well, starting off at my 7, and the only one that made it on mine that didn't make it on Sean's is Drake May. Okay. Drake May had a fantastic year, number 2 running up in the MVP. He made it to the Super Bowl, lost, crumbled. All right, crumbled. We all saw him crumble in the Super Bowl, and I get that. I do think Drake May was one of the luckier quarterbacks last year, from schedule to like interception dropping to like just like big plays breaking. Like a lot of his yards were from Yak. Um, a lot of his yards were from Yak. Like a crazy amount of his yards. I think he had the most Yak yards in the league, if I remember correctly. Uh, I do. He is going to regress. I didn't feel comfortable with him in number 8. I kind of wanted to put him a little bit lower, but at the same time, he was number 2 for MVP last year, so I felt it would be kind of disrespectful to put him lower than that. I, it just, there's too many variables here, right? He got a lucky season last year, with schedule, like I just said, lucky season. He is getting AJ Brown this year, which is AJ Brown's a fucking fantastic wide receiver. I would kill
Yep.
for him to be on
And
the
all
pack.
the things that come with AJ Brown.
Yeah, and all the things that come with AJ Brown. Um, if he continue or if he just like maintains what he did last year, he's fantastic. He's gonna be a great quarterback to watch for years to come. But I do think he got lucky last year. I don't see him continuing. I could see him dropping down to like halfway, being like rank 16 going into next year. I could see that. Or I could see him staying at about 8. I think right now 8 is probably the highest he will be ranked. Um, at least going into next year, unless if he takes another step forward, which he obviously could because he was only a sophomore last year. But I don't see that happening. All right, I think he's going to stay around. Actually, I'll say he'll stay around probably the 6 to 14 range. I know that's a big range, but it just depends if he continues to play like he did or if he regresses, which I do think he will regress. Um, so I feel 8 is a little bit uncomfortable for me, but I didn't know where else to put him. Next one is Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is just underrated at this point in his career. Yeah, he hasn't won anything really. Uh, but he puts up fucking numbers. Uh, Sean equated him to like Matthew Stafford. It was either Sean or Brogan. Like they're like, I think it was Brogan actually. Brogan's like, Dak Prescott is kind of like a younger Matthew Stafford, where he puts up numbers, but he doesn't really accomplish a whole lot. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of agree with that. Dak Prescott doesn't turn over the ball a crazy amount. He has a great arm. He has a great intuition for the game. Doesn't take too many sacks. Gets the ball out quick. For being like what, a fifth round draft pick, he's a fucking fantastic find for the Cowboys, and being a top 10 quarterback in the league. I feel pretty comfortable at putting him at number 7. I could see, he's it every year is the Cowboys' year to win it all. Okay. Do I think they're gonna do it? No, fuck no. But I Dak Prescott has been so consistently good that I can't put him anywhere else besides in the top 10, because he's just been so good for so fucking long at this point. After that is Justin Herbert. It actually kind of pains me to put Herbert over Prescott. I honestly, so from Drake May to Dak to Herbert, those three I found the hardest to rate, because like Dak Prescott could be number 6, but Herbert hasn't fucking done anything since his rookie year. Herbert is, you can blame the offensive line all you want and all these other things, but Herbert really hasn't done a whole lot. He hasn't won anything. He hasn't. Let me fucking pull up his stats. Okay, rookie year, fantastic, 31-10, awesome. 2020, and then 2021, he threw for 5K yards, awesome. The next year, 4,700 yards, awesome. But then the last 3 years, it's just kind of been like, ooh, he's had 20 touchdowns, 7 interceptions with 3,100 yards. The year after that, 2024, 23 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. That's fantastic, with 3,800 yards. And then last year, 26, 13, and 37. So like, I don't know, he has these glimpses of just being so fucking good, but like he just hasn't gotten over the hump. And this is the point where like I start taking into teams like success into play, because like as a quarterback of this level, when you're in the top 10, when you're in the top 8, when you're pushing top 5, you are expected to have accomplished something or made a push anywhere, and Herbert just hasn't done that. He hasn't put his team over the edge yet, and I hope he does, because he is a fun player to watch, strong arm, everything that you would want out of a quarterback. He just hasn't put it together. I hope he does this year. He's fun, but number 6 is where I feel pretty comfortable with putting him at. He could win MVP this next year. Who knows? Like, I could easily see him winning MVP. All these guys at this point, from Herbert on out, I could easily see them winning MVP this year. These next 6 guys are all guys I'm like, yeah, they're probably going to win MVP. One of these 6 guys are probably going to win MVP. Next one is Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes has actually been quite disappointing in the past couple of years. Ever since 2022, where he threw for 5K yards and 41 touchdowns, crazy. 2023, he went 27-14 with 4,100 yards. 2024, 26 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, just 3,900 yards. 2025, 22-11. He's always been one of the luckier quarterbacks when it comes to dropping interceptions. Now it seems like teams are starting to actually catch those interceptions. And Matt Nagy's kind of a dog shit play caller. I don't know why they want Matt Nagy back, but Matt Nagy's a fucking cancer to that team. They need to fire him. I don't know why they brought him back. Like, I really don't. Mahomes has just taken a step back. He hasn't thrown for over 30 touchdowns in 3 years. Okay, now injury and all, whatever, but like even last year he didn't do a whole lot, right? Like it was like one of those seasons where it's like, okay, Mahomes is just not what he was. are we going to have to? If he doesn't do well this year, we're going to have some uncomfortable conversations about Patrick Mahomes because he was the NFL poster boy. He was the guy that kids looked up to, and now all of a sudden he's all right. He's all right. He's not he's not horrible. But it's so hard with the way Mahomes has been to put him any lower than this because you don't know with Mahomes because of how fucking good he was just a couple of years ago that he could easily return back to that with the right play calling, with the right players, all this shit. But I just, I don't know. I don't see it. It could happen. You know, he could win MVP this year and fucking throw for 5K yards again, but I don't know if that's too probable. And if he doesn't put up god tier numbers this year, we're gonna have some uncomfortable conversations, and he's gonna be rated a whole lot lower coming next year. If he doesn't do well this year, like putting up pretty good numbers or solid numbers, he's gonna start dropping. He's gonna be towards the lower end of the top 10. So next one after this is Jordan Love. I'm a Packers homer. I don't. I didn't I don't. I didn't know where to put Love. In my head, whenever I like thought about Jordan
Not
Love,
high enough.
I'm like, okay, he's like around 7. Like I'm like, okay, he's around 7. But when I actually started writing out the list and like putting people down there, I'm like, oh my god, like I can't. Jordan Love has outperformed Patrick Mahomes in the past couple of years. Fact. Lick my balls if anybody says otherwise. Fact. Jordan Love has outperformed Patrick Mahomes in the past couple of years. He's outperformed Justin Herbert in the past couple of years. And he's outperformed Dak Prescott in the past couple of years. Right? Like, ever since Jordan Love has become a starter, he's been fixing his issues, his interception issues, his his inaccuracies and all that. He's been taking those steps every single year. And this isn't just what they did last year, it's also what we think they're going to do this coming year. And I think this Jordan Love is going to continue to take a step forward and have a whole brand new offense behind him. I think Matt LaFleur genuinely looked at his offense this past year and looked at what he's done and said, I can't keep doing this. This is not a recipe for success. So I think he's kind of scratched everything and is now looking forward to actually doing something with the Packers. What pissed me off last year was with Matthew Golden, where he said he benched Matthew Golden because he didn't want anybody's fucking feelings in the locker room to get hurt. Fuck you, Matt LaFleur. All right? This isn't now Matt LaFleur, right? But now he gets Matthew Golden, who I think is a fucking stud. I think he's a goddamn stud who's going to go out there and just lay nuts on heads, nuts on foreheads. Do I think Jordan Love's going to win MVP? He could. You know, he was starting to get MVP. Like, people were like, okay, he could get MVP. And then he got injured, sat out, and then the entire Packers organization kind of collapsed in on itself. But Jordan Love was that guy, and I think he's going to continue to be that guy this year. Um, he has it all. His EPA, like when you look at his stats, EPA man, okay, he's so fucking good. They said the best quarterback last year against cover 0, Jordan Love. Best quarterback in cover 1, Jordan Love. Best quarterback against the blitz, Jordan Love, which is essentially cover 0. But he's so fucking good in so many facets of the game that people are highly underrating him. I don't see him taking a step back because all I've seen him do is take steps forward. And if he continues to take another step forward, shit, dude, he's right there. After that, it's Joe Burr. Joe Burrow is just fucking good. The only issue he has is injuries and having a dog shit defense. I don't know what else to tell you. He has everything that you could ever want out of a quarterback. He has the accuracy, he has the strength, he has the brain, he has the weapons everywhere that he could ever need. Joe Burrow, if he wins MVP this year, I would not be surprised. You know, he's that fucking good. After that, it's Matthew Stafford. He's old. He did just come off of MVP season, which is why I have him so high. But he's getting pretty old. He has a lot of weapons on offense. He obviously, everybody knows Stafford has a strong fucking arm. He's been around for a long time. What is he, 37?
Yeah, that sounds right.
He's old. He actually thought about retiring last year because of his back. I hope his back issues are fixed. That he doesn't have them anymore. But I would place him at number one because, he just won MVP. But there's one guy who I think could do better, which is Josh Allen. Uh, and there's going to be a lot of like Chiefs fans and Ravens fans in in the comments if they ever catch a hold of this video, being like, "What the fuck are you doing having Josh Allen at number one?" He has it all, man. He has the arm strength. He has the legs. He's durable, which is a huge factor in these things, right? Matthew Stafford, not too durable. Joe Burrow, not too durable. Jordan Love, not too durable. Patrick Mahomes, he had his first freak injury. Justin Herbert's pretty fucking durable, right? Like, he is one of the most durable quarterbacks in the league. He has everything that you could ever want. He's only gotten better since coming into the league. He's legitimately only gotten fucking better. Uh, he had an MVP season 2 seasons ago. I can see him putting that together again. He's not too old. What I don't know how old he is off the top of my head, but he's not too old. And he's just all around just a good fucking quarterback. The locker room loves him. I can see him continuing to put it all together and continuing to be one of the top quarterbacks in the league. It's so funny because when he first came into the league, I was like, "What the fuck are these idiots doing? This is what you get for drafting and trying to develop a guy like Josh Allen." And I ate my words on it. I publicly, like with my friend group, I was like, "Dude, like, why would you take a project QB that high?" Now I see why. So, scene?
All right, I was just reading a lot of Packers Reddit and just getting excited. Um,
Oh, that is so great. Wait, holy shit. Wait,
yeah.
holy shit.
Oh,
Our lists are so
yeah.
similar. Wait, what the fuck?
Yeah, I'll be bringing that up here. Don't worry. Where did I have? I had Sam Darnold at 9. So I got Dakota Rain Prescott at number 8 here. Like Nick was saying, I've really liked him since he was drafted. I thought this was a really good pick for the Cowboys back then. Sure, they don't win anything, and I would disagree though that he's like the Matt Stafford of the Cowboys because those Lions teams were fucking terrible, and these Dallas teams are projected to be competing. I mean, they had so much more talent than the majority of those Lions teams did. But yeah, I mean, Prescott, you never have to worry about the quarterback position. The stability is always there. And I just think he's overall, I just really like him. You kind of know his ceiling, but you know his floor is pretty high. Next one, because we or Nick already talked about the majority of these guys, I'll just kind of go a little bit quick here. Um, Justin Herbert. I think Justin Herbert's a phenomenal quarterback. I'm very curious to see what he does in the uh, Mike McDaniel offensive coordinator position. I think that can really elevate Herbert, as we saw what it could do with Tua, who I still say was never that good. So we'll see what he can. We'll see what he can do there. Patrick Mahomes, I have at number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have him at 6. And very similar to Nick, I didn't know quite what to make of him. I know he's been kind of trending downward the last couple of years, but he's still a relatively young guy. And I think this next year we're going to see a hungrier version of him after essentially being kind of having his livelihood taken away from him with the ACL injury. And I think we're going to see a little bit more hungrier version, and that's just why I think he's a top 6 quarterback in the league. I just don't necessarily know if the talent around him is there to match that intensity that he's going to be bringing. So again, just another we'll see. Then number 5, kind of a proven commodity. Nick had him at 9. I have him at 5, and Lamar Jackson. I think again the durability. When he's healthy, he's phenomenal. But another year older, those legs are going to start to slow down. Father Time catches up with everybody. And when you've been the fastest guy on the field for X amount of years, the older that you get, and sooner or later, there's going to be a faster guy on the field that's going to be able to catch you a lot faster. It's going to be kind of a humbling experience. But until that day comes, I still think Lamar can do it. We've been saying it for years, and clearly he's hit 30 now and hasn't necessarily need to make it that top of a priority. But I'd like to see him develop a little bit more as a pocket passer. I think he's going to be fine as long. I mean, the Baltimore Ravens are always just a scrappy team, so I think he will be able to will them to some games. It's just going to be a matter of can he get over that hurdle in the playoffs. And I think last year would have been one of his better shots, but he just couldn't get past who they lose to, the Ravens
They are the Ravens, Sean.
or Jesus, the Bills.
Fuck, who did the
The
Ravens
Bills.
lose to?
I think the Bills got beat, or the Bills beat the Ravens. I want to say.
I that
Uh,
Let me. I'll do some fact checking. You can keep going.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's just going to be very interesting to see. I mean, whenever we get to the top of the AFC, it's always just a gauntlet. The next one, I don't know if any of you watching the video or if you're audio only can see this, but I did rock my Jordan Love shirt today because, much like Nick, I am a Packer homer, and I did put him at number 4 because I think that's exactly where he. Did I say 4, 3, 4? Yeah,
Um,
I put him at 4.
Ravens
What do we
did make
got?
the playoffs last year.
Oh, well, what the fuck am I thinking of? Whatever, doesn't matter. We're on to Jordan Love, the best quarterback in the NFC, and I think I'm able to say that.
Matthew
Not
Stafford,
quite.
buddy.
Second best quarterback in the NFC, and I did share with Nick in our chat where was deep on the Reddit of Packers now because the more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm just loving that football's back. And Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love have a very similar career through the first 3 seasons. And then Rodgers took that ascension leap, going 15-1 and getting an MVP his 4th year. So I'm hoping that we can get something like that. But yeah, I mean, games played extremely similar. Completions, Jordan Love has about 60 or 70 less completions, but he also has about 100 less attempts. So if you take that with a grain of salt, take it for what it's worth. Rodgers had a point 0.1 or a tenth of a point better in completion percentage. And again, because Jordan Love had 100 less attempts, obviously the yards aren't going to be the same, but he's about 1,400 yards behind Rodgers. But if you give him,
What
given their
that's
roughly same
7.2.
average throw, 7.6 to an 8.0 for average throw, touchdowns 80 to 86 for Love to Rodgers. Interceptions, Love has 3 less than Rodgers. Sacks, he's actually taken a lot less, which hopefully can help his longevity case. Quarterback rating, Rodgers has him by or overall QB. What is the RTG and the QBR?
One of them is passer rating. The other one is
Oh,
quarterback
yeah.
rating.
Okay, then passer rating, Rodgers has him by 1.4 points, and then quarterback rating, Love actually has him by a tenth of a point.
I don't understand the
Interception
differences
percentage
between the
slightly
two.
better. I don't know either, but the point is they are extremely similar, and if Love is kind of on this Aaron Rodgers trajectory, this next season should be extremely fun. Next
That's a
one I
lot to
got is
ask for. That's a lot to ask for, buddy.
yeah, but I think he's gonna do it, so it's fine.
Okay.
The next one I have is Joe Burrow. The dude's just solid if you exclude the first 2 weeks of every season. He's really, really good. Arguably, if you take the first 2 to 4 weeks out of every season that he's ever played in, he'd probably be number 1. But the first quarter of the season exists, and he usually struggles a little bit early on, but finds his footing as the great quarterbacks often do. Then I got Matt Stafford. I've been saying it for at least the last couple of years. I think Matt Stafford is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. So was severely underrated until he went to LA. So happy he was able to get over the hump, get that Super Bowl ring. And I mean, he was realistically a couple plays away from making it to the NFC Championship or winning the NFC Championship game and making it to the Super Bowl. And obviously, we saw that Rams defense is pretty formidable as well. And I think that there's not a whole lot of reason that the Rams wouldn't have been able to take care of business against the Patriots if they were to play. So I'm not going to do the hypothetical, oh, Matt Stafford technically has 2 rings, because he doesn't. And overall, just super solid quarterback. If his back and everything like in his body is able to stay healthy, I expect them to be competing for the top of the NFC again. And that brings me to my number one quarterback, Josh Allen. Again, just talk about durable. The dude treats his body with reckless abandon, doesn't matter, shakes it off, shrugs it off, gets into the end zone, finds a way to get it done unless you're taking on Patrick Mahomes in the postseason. I mean, truly, the dude is just an absolute gamer. I'd love to talk about a guy I want to see get over the hump. I want Josh Allen and the Bills in a Super Bowl badly. I think that'd be amazing. And as long as they're not taking on the Packers, I would look forward to it. But yeah, so I think Josh Allen is my number one quarterback for this upcoming year and kind of taking into account what we did last year. Nick, do you have any closing thoughts?
No, I think I kind of want like after pod, kind of put out like a number sheet of like how similar like the averages that we had between all of us
Yeah.
to give the averages. Next week are we doing another? Are we starting to do the divisions?
Division previews? We definitely can.
Because I
Yeah,
think
I'd
how
be all
many
right.
weeks until football starts?
Oh, we have preseason next week. So we could bang out one. What is it? Today is Friday for all of you that are getting a look behind the curtain. We could bang out one like Sunday
Yeah, because
and then just have it locked and loaded because we
yeah,
can get
we
in
need to
some
pump out
preseason games and
eight.
everything.
We need to pump out 8 of them. So yeah, I think
Yeah, we can get started with Sunday and then see how long we go, and that way we can actually take some shots as well. So
yeah. As
a little
for
Sunday
those
fun
of you
day.
that don't know, I'm a flight instructor, so I can't drink and then fly. So I'm about to go fly, which is why I wasn't
Yeah.
drinking. Don't drink and fly,
Yeah.
guys, or drive. Don't drink.
Yeah.
But
So I guess we'll leave it. We'll leave it on those closing remarks for Nick. So that's our rankings. Make sure you guys leave a comment. I know everybody listens. We'll always leave comments if you agreed or disagreed with any of our ratings. And as always, rate, review, subscribe to the pod. We'll be back next week with our regularly scheduled program and hopefully Brogan as well. So
all right,
that's all we got. See ya.
bye.